Hey there, this is Jason. I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick update on my low chill cherries. These cherry trees are unlike a lot of my other stone fruit, which wanted to flower and set fruit immediately. I would have to go on and knock off the fruit the first year to thin it out and to allow the roots to establish. That's not true from my experience here of these low chill cherries. So over here, if I can point to the trunk so you can see them, I have Minnie Royal, I have Royal Lee in the background, and Royal Crimson in the foreground. Now, I've been posting some videos about these cherry trees, and it's been about the lack of fruit set and the lack of vigor. And I think this year things are starting to finally change. If you notice here, the Minnie Royal, it is almost completely taking over. And as I have a 3-in-1 planting here, I'm going to have to make sure that I'm diligent and I'm not allowing Minnie Royal to take over this planting. But Minnie Royal has actually set fruit this year. And unlike last year when the fruit fell off, this year some of them are reaching maturity, and I have some others in the background down there at the bottom that have not turned red yet, but probably will over the next week or two. So these low chill cherries, they check a box for me that I'm really excited about. They are one of the earliest ripening stone fruits for me. Here we are, May 1st, and I actually grabbed a cherry off the tree the other day and taste tested it because I couldn't wait. So I like that they're early ripening, but man, they've taken 3 years to get to this stage. And even in year 3, you're going to notice that our Royal Crimson here in the foreground, as I mentioned in one of my prior videos, is little more than a whip. It has actually branched out this year. This is new growth right here. That's exciting. But even with that new growth, the Royal Crimson is really lagging behind. But the good news is that it did set fruit, and that looks like that'll be a cherry that I can enjoy. One cherry on this entire tree 3 years later. I wouldn't say that that's optimal. Well, actually, let me see. Two Royal Crimson cherries that are on this tree right now. That is not optimal. And then Royal Lee behind it. This one, I am scratching my head. It's almost like there's 2 trees in one. If I didn't know any better, and if Buffy didn't know any better, she would say that this is a multi-grafted tree, but it's not. You're going to notice there's a clump of foliage here in the center, and in that clump are some cherries. And that area flowered out first, and those flowers set fruit. They were pollinized by the Minnie Royal, I suspect. They flowered at the same time as the Minnie Royal. And some of them, again, here, are turning red at about the same rate. And then if I pan back, you'll see that all the additional branches around the perimeter of Royal Lee are just starting to flower now. And none of them have leafed out yet, with the exception of just this one little clump right here. So figure that out. Royal Lee, it's got its flowers out right now. There's very little chance that those are going to get pollinated if they require cross-pollination, which they do. So what do? What's going on there? How is this tree taking on 2 personalities in one? And it's a single graft tree. It's not a multi-graft. So I can't figure out what's going on over there. Nonetheless, I do have to say that year 3 is the magic year for fruit. I heard about this online. I've read some comments that said low chill cherries do require a little bit of time in the ground. And that year 3, that applies to when you plant it. And in these cases here with these 3 trees, these are all Dave Wilson trees. They were grown for multiple years as rootstocks and as grafted trees up in Modesto before they were even sold at my local nursery. So when I say that they're 3 years old, that's 3 years in this ground, but not necessarily 3 years in total. These trees may be upwards of 5, possibly even 6 years old. So it's going to take a little while, even with a grafted variety, for these to finally set fruit. I read that comment way back at the beginning, and I realized I was going to have patience with these trees. Despite the vigor of Minnie Royal, despite the fact that it's reaching way beyond what I can grab with my own hands, the fruit set is coming along, but it's not, I'm not getting an abundance of cherries, at least not yet. So I'm hoping year 4 for me is that abundance, at least with the Minnie Royal. Royal Lee, the 2-in-1 tree that is leafing in the center and flowering on the outside, can't figure that out. If you have any idea what's going on here, drop me a comment in the comments section. I am scratching my head on that. And then Royal Crimson, I have really trashed this tree. I said this was the make or break year. The fact that it's putting cherries out for me, even though there's only 2, means that I'm going to get a taste test this year, and that taste test may help persuade me to keep it in the ground one more year. But here's my 3-in-1 planting. As I pan back, you're going to see what it looks like. The vast majority of the foliage is Minnie Royal, and I'll do another update sometime in the summer so you can see all of these trees leafed out compared to one another. I've done very little pruning over here to Royal Crimson, none at all actually, and minimal to Royal Lee, but Minnie Royal, I've had to hack away at that quite a bit. That is definitely the most vigorous of these 3 varieties. So I can't wait to taste out the fruit. I can't wait to share my opinion. But if you are in a similar situation as I am, if you are growing these low chill, Southern California friendly cherry trees, give it some patience. You're in it for the long haul. You're not going to get fruit right away. So you're going to have to put the time in to even get 1 or 2 cherries at all. So that's the situation I'm in. If you're having similar experiences or if you're experiencing something completely different, let me know. I love chatting with you in the comments section.